Okay, so now that we've learned a little bit of the basics about trunk bus, let's get into the analysis part where we're going to be comparing a bunch of configurations with each other. So to start, I've expanded out my boundary a bit so we have more than one block, and I ran it using horizontal trunk bus. We would then create a version, name it horizontal trunk bus / 400 amp CBs, or whatever other information might be pertinent. It depends on your workflow. You'll notice I've saved some other versions. We'll come back to those later. What we've got here. And to do that, I want to create a custom report. So I click on that here, and I'll go to filters and select low voltage wiring as the type. Then I'll come back to columns and adjust what columns are being shown. I need to include ID, type, then under specification, I'll select type, gauge, material, phase, temperature, ampacity, resistivity, and reactance. Then under computed result, I'll select all of the options here, which is length, operating current, max current, power, and voltage. It gives me a list of all the wiring in my project. So here I can put in row groups. So let's drag down specification type, and let's just select ID and type to be showing for now. Okay, so here you see I can expand this and see just the trunk bus. And to look at the wiring by block, I'll select my transformer by dragging down parent transformer and make sure it's on top. Now I can see each transformer in my project by their IDs, which in this project is just these four. And if I expand it out, I can see all of my wires by type here. To get a trunk bus count, I'll drag this first selection of ID and drag it down to the values section. I'll click on the 3 dots that are next to this new column called Sum ID, then under Value Aggregation, I'll select Count. From here, I can see the count of everything, including trunk buses per block. So like in this first block, I have 36 trunk buses and 32 DC feeders. Now that you kind of understand how these custom reports work, you can make whatever columns and groups you want. Then when you're happy with this report, you can export as a spreadsheet by clicking this icon in the top right corner. Also create a direct comparison in PVFARM by coming over to our Project tab, Overview, and we would click on these 3 dots here. And you're going to select Add to Comparison. Like you saw earlier, I already have made some different versions here, and I've added them to my comparison. Now, if I open up my comparison, you can see we've got a breakdown of each of the configurations that I've put together, so I can make as many different versions as I want and add them to the comparison. I'll be able to not just compare the 3 different trunk bus schemes, I can also make adjustments like moving my wires, roads, or equipment around. And I'll be able to save it, add it to the comparison, and see what kind of a difference that change has made on the overall cost or voltage drop of my project. By following this process, I'll have a report on each configuration that I might consider for my project, which will help me compare them and make the decision on the best configuration possible. Thank you for watching.